I'm fine. It's your default response. Even when you're not fine, you tell everyone you're fine. You tell yourself that you're fine until you're not. Welcome to Love in Life, a guide to a positive mindset. Today, we are talking about something that many of us feel. We all feel. I'm going to put my money on this and say every single one of us experience. And that is emotional overwhelm. So just to give you a quick overview, we're going to have a look at what emotional overwhelm really looks like, how you might feel it. We are going to look at how we tend to deal with it. And then we're going to have a look at what you really need and how to do that. And as always, at the end, we are going to do a super quick visualization. Today, I'm going to just get straight on with it because I really truly feel like this is going to bloody resonate with so many people today. And my intuition is telling me that so many of you need this. So many of you need to hear this. So let's just get straight on with it today. So have you ever felt like everything is just too much? It feels too much, but you can't understand why. You can't quite put your finger on why. You're not crying, you're functioning, but inside you are feeling flooded. I know. I've been feeling it too. And the thing is, emotional overwhelm, it's not always in your face. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's hidden. It's hidden behind busy days. It's hidden behind quiet people pleasing, or just getting on with it. So what does emotional overwhelm really look like? So many of us don't even realise that we're emotionally overwhelmed. So just have a listen to these things and see if you're feeling this, if you've recently felt this, or take note for if you feel like this in the future. And remember this episode. So feeling snappy or irritable for no reason, like you just can't put your finger on why you're pissed off. Maybe you are struggling to make simple decisions. I tell myself it's procrastination. Is it procrastination or is it overwhelm? Brain fog or shutting down mentally, crying easily, or on the other hand, feeling numb. And with both those things, like brain fog and shutting down, crying easily, feeling numb, like these can also be mistaken for hormonal disruptions as well. So your cycle, your monthly cycle, if you're going through perimenopause, if you're pregnant, like if your hormones are having a surge, like our hormones are changing all the time. So it's really hard sometimes to tell if it's hormones or if it's actually overwhelm. Maybe you find that you are holding tension in your throat, in your chest, in your jaw. Maybe you feel like you need space, but you feel too guilty to feel that, or to say that, or to do that. Overwhelm, like I said, it's not always loud. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's quietly saying, I just can't hold anything else right now. So what leads us to feeling this emotional overwhelm? As women, and I'm sure this is the case for men, but you, my listeners, are predominantly women. So this is what's relevant. I'm a woman. You're probably a woman. This is what's relevant. We are carrying so much all the time. Whatever your circumstances, we carry so much. So one of the reasons might be that your mental load never switches off. Like you're the one who remembers the birthdays, the appointments, the food shopping, the school trips. If you're a parent, you are planning what you've got to do for everybody else. You're always trying to think like 5 steps ahead for everybody else. So even when you are sat down, sat still, your brain is still working. It's hard to switch off. Another reason why you might be feeling emotional overwhelm is because you are probably the main caregiver. Again, whatever your circumstances are, whether you are caring for children, caring for your partner, whether you're caring for people in work, whether you're caring for elderly parents or grandparents, you're probably the predominant caregiver. You're the one that everybody comes to. You're the one that just gets on with it, just gets it done. You probably feel like if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. Another reason is you could be suppressing emotions just to keep the peace, to avoid conflict. Like even when things feel unfair, even when you're the one who has to remember everything, it feels so unfair. But you don't tell anyone that you feel like that because you're avoiding conflict. You don't want to upset anybody. You might feel like there's no time or space to feel. You'll deal with it later, but later never comes. Maybe you've overcommitted out of guilt or pressure. So saying yes to things that you don't really want to do or you haven't got time to do. You are people pleasing on autopilot. You don't even realise you're doing it. You don't want to let anybody down. Other reasons for this emotional overwhelm building up is possibly pushing through tiredness and stress, believing that rest is a luxury. Like we've talked about this recently with meditation, slowing down, like sticking to routines that you feel like you have to get done. You feel like rest is a luxury. You feel like those things are not a necessity, and you end up just numbing it with coffee, sugar, scrolling. You might be hiding how you really feel. You might feel like no one's going to understand anyway, so what's the point in having the conversation? You don't want to be seen as dramatic, emotional, sensitive, too much. So you're probably thinking, I'm fine. It's your default response. Even when you're not fine, you tell everyone you're fine. You tell yourself that you're fine. Until you're not. Not only are you the main caregiver, but you're holding emotional space for everybody, for other people. You're absorbing everybody else's stress, whether that's your partner, whether that's your children, whether that is your colleagues or clients or family members. You carry on so much of other people's stuff. You don't even know what you feel anymore. And finally, the final reason I've got written down why you might feel emotionally overwhelmed is because you are not feeling supported yourself. You are doing all the giving, but you're not feeling like you can ask for help. You feel isolated, even when you're surrounded by people. Like, who is looking after you? And the thing is, like, the sad thing is, a lot of us feel like this. And if we were more open and just spoke about it, then we might be able to help each other out emotionally. Anyway, emotional overwhelm doesn't always come from like one big thing. It's often a build-up of a lot of those things. We haven't even had or given ourselves the space to process it. Sometimes you just need to feel seen. And I just want to say, I see you. So when we're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, what do we tend to do? We often power through. We often over-explain ourselves. We feel weak or shame for needing rest, so we don't allow ourselves to rest. Or we often distract ourselves with other things to keep us busy, or scrolling, social media scrolling. Like, I know that is a sign for me when I'm feeling overwhelmed, is when I end up doom scrolling and then feeling the frustration after because I've not done anything. Like, those distractions are there all the time. They're so hard to ignore those distractions. But why do we do that? Why do we power through? Why do we over-explain? Why do we feel weak? Why do we distract? So first thing, we have been conditioned from a young age that our worth comes from doing things. As young women, as young as girls, I don't know about you, but I can certainly relate to this. But good girls who help, good girls who smile, good girls who are nice and polite, don't make a fuss. We've also been praised for being high achievers, for juggling it all, for juggling everything. We've also been praised for caregiving, for putting other people first. If you're the eldest child, you have probably been looking after everybody for longer than you realise. Not just for eldest children, actually, like girls in general. Girls are the caregivers. So then, because of this, rest starts to feel lazy. Self-care feels selfish because somehow we've come to believe that being productive is our value. Value comes from being productive. If that reason resonates with you, focus on your solar plexus for the next couple of days. The second reason why we do those things when we're feeling emotionally overwhelmed is because we fear being seen as weak or unreliable. So especially in the workplace or in family dynamics where you feel like you have to be the strong one. You feel like you have to be the one who holds it all together, or you are the one who holds it all together. Taking a break can feel like we're letting people down, or it can feel like we're being judged. And if that resonates, that might be your throat chakra out of balance. You might not be speaking your truth or asking for help because you're scared of what other people think. Also, we are so used to looking after other people that we forget that our own needs even matter. We forget that we've got needs. We've forgotten how to be compassionate to ourselves. When we finally acknowledge how drained we are, you start to feel guilty. You start to feel like you've done something wrong just because you need a moment's rest. If that resonates, then you might want to focus on your heart chakra. Self-compassion, receiving love, including from yourself, and being emotionally honest, all center from your heart. So rather than powering through, rather than feeling shame for needing rest, just ask yourself, what if rest isn't a luxury, but a form of love, a form of self-love? And then finally, another reason why we tend to deal with it by powering through, by distracting ourselves, is because our nervous systems have normalized stress. Like in these times that we live in where we are doing everything, you're constantly busy, you are addicted to doing. Like it feels safer to do than to slow down. And stopping, resting can often bring up a discomfort. It can often feel like emotions that you've been avoiding, fear of not being in control, they can come up when you rest. So it's safer to just not rest. And if that one resonates with you, then your intuition has probably become clouded. Like our intuition, it's hard for us to listen to our intuition when we are in survival mode. Like slowing down is how we reconnect to that inner knowing what we need. And stillness probably feels really unfamiliar to you, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. So how can we listen to what we really need? How do we know what we really need? Like rather than powering through, feeling like we have to over-explain, feeling shame or guilt around needing rest or distracting ourselves, how do we know what to do instead? And what do we really need to do instead? We really need stillness. We really need gentle compassion, gentle awareness of ourselves. We need to give ourselves permission to feel before fixing, before doing. And we really need to give ourselves space to ask, like, what is truly going on here? So a couple of things that you can do. The first thing is so simple, but so many of us just don't do it. But put your hand on your heart, close your eyes and just really feel into your heart and ask yourself, what do I need today? What do I need today? And you'll be surprised at when you really listen to yourself, to that inner voice that you've probably been ignoring. She's shouting at you what it is you really need. A couple of journaling prompts you could use. What is taking up the most space in my mind right now? If I could give myself one thing right now, what would it be? Another thing you can do is to ground yourself, ground your body. And there are a couple of ways you can do this. A couple of really simple 1 minute ways that you can do this. Like just 60 seconds of slow breathing will help to regulate your nervous system. Like spend 5 seconds breathing in, 5 seconds breathing out, and do this 6 times. So as then you've done for a minute, 6 breaths in and out, and actually count it. Other ways you can ground for just 1 minute, go and stand on the grass, go and stand outside with your shoes off and just let your feet soak in. Let them feel connected to the ground beneath. Like just close off everything else around you and just focus on that feeling. But then also reconnect with your energy and just ask yourself, is this mine? Is this my overwhelm? Or is this other people's stress that I'm absorbing? So I just want to take you into a super quick visualization, especially if absorbing other people's stress, worries, problems has resonated with you, then this will really help. So I just want you to take a moment to close your eyes if you can. Don't worry if you can't. Sorry if you can hear my tummy rumbling. Take a slow breath in through your nose and out. Just allow your shoulders to drop, soften your jaw, and allow your eyes to soften, whether they're open or closed. I want you to imagine that you are standing under a gentle waterfall of light. So this soft, gentle light is flowing down on you. It's washing away what isn't yours to carry, all those emotions, all those problems, all those worries that you've picked up from other people. Just allow this waterfall of light, to really softly take that away. And underneath all that noise that's in your mind, your inner voice is still there. I'd like you to put your hand on your heart and ask her, what does she need today? Just notice what you feel, what you hear. And if you don't hear anything just yet, then that's okay. You might need to give yourself time to feel safe, to really hear that inner voice of what you truly, truly need. So when you're ready to come back, I just want to remind you, needing space, needing rest doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. And if you want a tool to be able to wash away everybody's problems, everybody's emotions that you've picked up, because we all do it, then every time you have a shower, just imagine all of those things being washed away from you. The biggest thing that I want you to take away today is next time you are feeling irritable, next time you are feeling snappy, struggling to make decisions, holding that tension, feeling like you've just got to get on with it. Don't necessarily assume it's procrastination, hormones. Just remember, you could be overwhelmed. You could be emotionally overwhelmed, not because you've had something massive happen, because all of these tiny little things in our day-to-day lives that we as women take on have built up, and you need a little reset. Which leads me nicely into my positivity reset map. Like, I truly believe that to stay feeling, for want of a better word, balanced, like emotionally, physically, mentally balanced, I believe that all of our chakras, when they are working together, we feel just better, more functionable. Functionable, is that even a word? I don't know. So if you haven't downloaded my positivity reset map, then do it now. It's totally free, and it just gives you a couple of journaling prompts, a couple of little techniques on how you can just reset each of your chakras, taking a couple of minutes a day or however often you feel you need to. Okay, if this episode has spoken to you, or if you know somebody who is feeling overwhelmed at the moment, why not share this episode with them? When we're feeling out of whack, we just want to feel more balanced. So this episode might help them do that. Let me know your thoughts. And if you feel overwhelmed in the future, then make sure you come back to this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could rate, review, or subscribe. It just helps other lovely listeners like you find the show. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.